Hello everybody, my name is Michael, and welcome back to Dark Souls. I have to apologize, because in the last episode I ended with killing Shiva of the deities and his spy master, and I got a special ring that I did not showcase, the Dark Wood Grain Ring. This special ring crafted in an eastern land is made of gold, but with a wood grain crest on its surface. Agents of subterfuge in this faraway land are particularly fond of the dark gold wood grain, which greatly alters its wearer's rolling action. And what it does is turn your fast roll into this, a cartwheel. And this is game-breaking in how powerful this is, because it gives you so many iframes and allows you to recover from rolling so quickly. You are absolutely, you are overpowered at this point. Originally, the ring, unbelievably, it was at any point under 50%, I believe, of your equip burden. So even if you were regular rolling, you could have an enormous amount of armor and use this ring and just make the game brutally easy. And PvP, oh my goodness. There is an entire group of people who do PvP that are despised for flipping. If I see somebody flipping in PvP, I'm automatically kind of pissed off, because they're practically cheating with this fucking thing. It just makes me mad. But I am going to showcase it in this episode. I'm probably not going to wear it afterwards. I just wanted to use it here to show you what it's like. And because I honestly have not really used this ring in any of my playthroughs for like a year, so I'm going to be breaking back into it myself. I am here in Anor Londo, the city of the gods. And this city is conspicuously empty of all but a few automatons and monsters. The main enemy of this area is the Sentinel, who wields a titanic shield, amazing armor, very, very powerful guy. We can just walk past him, though. If you don't get too close and don't hang about, he's not gonna be a real trouble. There are two over there, and they are guarding a chest. And likewise, all the way down there are two, and they are guarding a chest. We are going to fight them in just a minute. However, we're also going to take a left through here and meet a character. There's also going to be a bonfire here, which is already lit and already gives you 10 Estus, so you know what that means. This is a firekeeper. Let's see what she has to say.
Well, you are a rare visitor. Welcome to the lost city of Anor Londo, chosen undead. If you seek Lord Gwyn's old keep, exit here and head straight yonder. If you are the chosen one, a revelation shall visit thee. What follows thereafter depends upon you. What is it? What am I? Well, I am the keeper of the bonfire. If not for me, what beacon would there be in this lost city? A gatekeeper and a guide. That is my calling. The bonfires attended by the keepers are special. They are linked to one another, and their flames never die. Yet never shall the keepers of these flames meet. If you require rest, now is the time. That is, after all, what the bonfire is for.
So this bonfire is a real puzzle right away, because all of the other bonfire keepers that we've met have been caged or immobile in some way. Why is this one mysteriously just out and about, hanging around? It seems very odd, based on our experiences. Try attacking. Well, don't do that just yet. If you kill her, obviously you lose this bonfire, and that would make the game pretty obnoxious for quite a while. And remember a while back we saw that the bonfire keeper in Firelink Shrine was impure, was blasphemous in some way, and had been mutilated for some sort of offense that she caused, or presumed offense. This one is also, apparently we learned later, somehow deformed in some way, or there's something wrong with her, allegedly, but it's not apparent because she's in full armor, so who knows. We can get her armor later on in the game, and it looks pretty cool. It's called the brass armor. Now, a few episodes ago, I neglected to really go into this, but what exactly are we doing here, getting the Lord Vessel? What is a Lord Vessel? Well, we don't really know just yet. But Kingseeker Frampt, look at how beautiful this is, by the way. He said that it was our goal to succeed Lord Gwyn and cast away the dark. Well, what does that mean? Well, essentially what that means is that we have to do what Lord Gwyn did. And what Lord Gwyn did in order to preserve the Age of the Gods, after it was clear that it was fading and going to die, was he killed himself. He sacrificed himself by throwing himself into the first flame. This was after the Witch of Izalith attempted to relight it, but caused all those hideous demons to be spawned, apparently, or wake up, or whatever it was. And Lord Gwyn seemed to, when he immolated himself, the power and the greatness and the magnificence of himself was consumed in the fire and used to keep the flames burning just a little bit longer. There are moments like this in history with great empires where you know after a certain point the Roman Empire is no longer as magnificent as it was. It was in decline, but it was still at sort of a half-greatness for a while as it was dying. The same happened with the Tang Dynasty in China, where there was sort of a collective attempt in the last 50 years of the empire to reignite the strength and power of the empire, even though it was fading at the time for about 50 or 60 years at the very end there. So that seems to be what happened, and what Kingseeker Frampt says, is our goal or our destiny, because we were chosen. He says we're the chosen undead, as if they're not, hundreds of undead wandering around here trying to do the same thing we're doing. It's our destiny to kill ourselves and end the cycle of death and rebirth by creating, breathing on the embers of this age and having it last a little bit longer. Which sounds like bullcrap to me. I don't know why I would want to do that. Also, I just want to point out how beautiful all of this is. Look at this. This is gorgeous. This is amazing. This is one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen in any video game in my entire life. It was at this point in the game where I truly began to love Dark Souls, because up to this point I had not really been all that into the game. I mean, I had loved it in a way because of how magnificent the combat was, but I wasn't into the story or the world. It was at this point that I really had to step back and lift my head up from the grinding and the hours and hours and the toil and how tough everything was, and look at them and say, this game is absolutely beautiful. Now let's go over here and fight one of these obnoxious Sentinel Dunes. You do not have to do this. That's the way that we need to go to progress the level. But you can fight these guys if you want. Of course, we shall try to do what we always do and try to draw aggro from them at range. Draw aggro at range. Oh, for goodness sake. There we go. And try to fight him one-on-one without his pal over there busting things up. These guys are very tough. They are very, very strong, and they are not to be messed around with. That shield smash they do is almost unblockable. It is very tough unless you have a really good shield. Their halberds are very powerful. They actually have a Wrath of the Gods spell, an area of effect divine magic attack that can do some really, really serious damage. And their halberds are no joke either. It's sometimes difficult to fight these guys because of their shields. I think you saw right there. I tried to hit him, but it just bounced off his shield. It was so huge. These guys are really tough. Their armor we can buy later on. I don't think they drop it, not that I remember. It doesn't really matter because we can purchase it later. So, and what does it really matter? It's not that expensive either. Their helmet is really cool because it has kind of a plume on it, a little bit like, it reminds me a bit of hoplite armor. And he's gone. Now the one on the left here, I believe, contains Twinkling or Demon Titanite. Twinkling Titanite. The one on the right here is a Mimic. And yeah, it says be wary of chest. And You can kind of, I guess you can kind of see it, but this one contains a crystal halberd. We talked about the crystal halberd in the Depths episode when we talked about Domnhol of Xena. And the crystal set, that's not worth it, you know, to bother screwing around with this mimic. We're going to try to fight him in just a second, but let's take a look at this door here. Out here is a golden fog gate, eventually, just past that sentinel there. We don't have to worry about that, because the golden fog gates we can't get rid of just yet. Let's take a look up here at this fat bastard. This is Executioner Smo, and he is one of the two bosses of Anor Londo, and he is part of the boss fight. Ornstein and Smo is maybe the toughest boss fight in the game, and one of the most iconic of the series. And this guy is a gigantic fat bastard who is a cannibal and he kind of wanted to be one of the Knights of Lord Gwyn, but he was too bestial and savage, and, you know, he ate people, so he's really, really horrendous, and he wields a gigantic hammer there. If I die to this mimic, I don't think I'm going to bother coming back here. It's just, there's not really a whole lot of point here. But I do want to show you the mimic in its full splendor. Did you see that? Did you freaking see that? He kicked me. I can't fucking believe this. I can't... Did you see that kick? That kick! This guy's a freaking martial artist. Very dangerous enemy. Beware of him. This is one of the few places where I don't give a crap about spamming Great Combustion right at the beginning. I just don't give a shit. Spam it away all you want. And let's head down here, and there are two more sentinels down that way. I don't think I'm going to bother fighting them because it's sort of repetitive. But I will show you that there is a similar statue over here of... Can we see him from here, or is it too dark? We can't quite see him. I have to get a little closer. And over there, I believe that is a statue of Ornstein, the other enemy that we're going to fight in the Ornstein and Smo boss fight. There is another chest over here which I believe contains Demon Titanite, or Twinkling Titanite, I'm not sure. But there's a very convenient bonfire here, so you can take these guys out pretty easily. Now let's head over here and take a look at... You can see down there... Whoops. You can see down there... Just barely at the bottom of the elevator there is a gargoyle. Just like the ones we fought in the Belfry, so we have to take him out. I believe they are not more difficult than the gargoyles in the Belfry. I don't think so. Maybe they have more health, I'm not sure. But they do breathe lightning rather than breathing fire. So that's something to worry about. And you can also have another chance here, of course, of getting the gargoyle tail axe or halberd as a drop. And just take a look over there at the home of Lord Gwyn. It doesn't really look like a castle, it looks like a cathedral. And, I mean, it really is gorgeous. It's so unique looking, this weird palace, castle, cathedral. It really does seem like the home of one of the gods. And after we defeat Ornstein and Smo, we get the Lord Vessel and continue on with the game. Just want to look out here. Look how beautiful that is. And this obnoxious thing is, I think, sort of also hiding a loading screen like a lot of elevators in the game, and in games in general, now that I think about it. That thing will constantly go up and down now, so it's not going to be waiting for you up there if you die and have to come back. Let's go take care of this gargoyle. You can, his aggro range does not extend through this door, so if you're having trouble with him, you can actually just wait in the door with a bow and take him out that way, but he's not terribly difficult. You can also get from him as a drop his helmet, which sort of, I don't really like the helmet. I'll show it to you here. It kind of reminds me, weirdly enough, of like, I don't know, a football helmet for some reason. I don't know why. It doesn't look like that, but it looks a little bit too silly with those wings coming off of it at the end. I do not care for it. Alrighty. Let's just pop down here. I believe there is a piece of Demon Titanite that we can get if you are going to be upgrading dim boss souls weapons. Anor Londo is a place with a lot of negative space, where there really is nothing important and nowhere to go, and yet you can walk over there. Uniquely in Dark Souls 1, I think. Most of the areas are much tighter and more compact. But I think they were trying to show just how huge the City of the Gods was. And we cannot actually get across to the area that we need to go, because there is some sort of gigantic contraption here, if you'll notice, that is like, I don't know exactly what it is. It's this weird bridge, and it moves like a corkscrew, and we have to actually get it to turn in order to get across here. And in order to do that, we have to sneak in to that building by going across one of these flying buttresses. I think they're a flying buttress. And going across here. This is very, very difficult to get across without falling. I hope I can make it without falling. Because the camera is sort of gently moving, especially when you get close in like this. The camera moves a little bit and makes moving very confusing. And when you get over here, just roll over here, and now we can get in through this broken window. And we're going to meet another enemy of this area. I think they're called the Monastery Guardians? Oh, no, the Painting Guardians. That's what they're called. And they drop a weapon called the Painting Guardian Sword, which is this game's equivalent of the Monastery Scimitar from Dark Souls 2. And I believe it does have that cool parry animation, I think. Although I tend not to use it, so I'm not really going to bother. And I believe in this section I'm actually going to switch out my Lucerne hammer for my rapier, because you have to actually march across this section, across the, what do you call these things? Beams? Ceiling beams? They don't look like they're made of wood. And these guys have throwing knives that they can hit you with. So, yeah, it's not the most easy situation to be in. They can also flask, by the way. So, just be aware of that. It's incredibly easy to fall off here. In fact, we learn later when we get to the bottom of this section that that's what happened to Iron Tarkus. He actually fell off here. And you can actually attack this chain and cause this thing to fall down here, and there is an item that we can now get that was inside the chandelier, which I believe is Strong Magic Shield, maybe? I've tried to hit these guys at range because that sounded like a good idea, don't get close to them, just hit them with range. But that didn't really work because of those throwing knives. By the way, these guys can, when they hit you with those throwing knives, even if you have your shield up, you're knocked back a little bit. You're pushed just a wee little bit. And because of that, well, you can fall off. Don't you frickin' flask in front of me. Wow, that took a lot of hits. Take a look over there at Princess Giant Knockers. That is Lord Gwyn's sexy, sexy daughter, Gwendolyn. Oh no, wait, excuse me, Guinevere. Gwendolyn is very different. That is Guinevere, and she has gigantic tatas, if you will notice. How the hell did somebody get on there to write that message? Show-offs. Alright, let's head down over here and go through this fog gate. There's no boss, don't worry. You can go down over here and make it to the other side of this by going across there next to the statue. There is no point to doing that. The only reward you get is a divine blessing, I think. It's not in any way worth doing. Put back the Lucerne hammer, because we have another gargoyle, if you'll take a look over there. And as soon as we push this thing down, then the gargoyle is going to aggro on us and attack us. And there we go. And what we're going to excuse me, what we're going to do is try to jump down onto him as he does this, and see if we can get a falling damage. See? Oh no, he didn't fall in. You see, what he does sometimes is he jumps down accidentally through there, and we can get some falling damage on him. But we didn't this time. Let's just grab some of that combustion. Oop. It doesn't really matter if we die here now because we've already moved the thing, so it's not really much of an issue. He was staggered after 2 hits there. Okay, and those gargoyles do not respawn. Oh, and we got the Gargoyle Shield. I want to be able to use the Gargoyle Shield, but it's kinda... it's shit. You know, it's not even 100% physical damage reduction. So who cares, right? Okay, now let us head down here, where we are now able to go to that lower floor of the place we were just in, and fight some more of those Painting Guardians, and find out why they're called Painting Guardians. There we go. And we can one-shot them with the Lucy, which is nice. And can we skirt along the side here? No, we don't. There's just a pile of these guys, and the range of this weapon is really going to help us out. This is also, by the way, where we enter... can you see? You can't see the painting from here. We'll wait until we get to the end. Come on. There we go. I want to just charge these guys, kind of, but it's better to draw them out slowly. These are all the ones that fell, by the way, after we went up and killed them, which is kind of silly. I love that. Poor Black Iron Tarkus's corpse is over there. And from what I've heard from people that look at the lore of this game, that's sort of implied that he was trying to walk across the roof of this, but he fucked up because he was so fat and heavy. And you can get his set, the Black Iron set. I don't believe you can get it anywhere else in the game. And the set is actually pretty cool. It looks cool. I think they just have target shields. Or are those? No, those are target shields. So they can probably parry you pretty effectively. And he was just too big and heavy to make it across. We also got the Great Sword, which I really doubt I can use. That's probably way too heavy. This is not like the Great Sword of the other Dark Souls. In Dark Souls 2, it looks nothing like it, although it has the same strength parameter as the one in Dark Souls 2. In Dark Souls 2, getting 28 strength is nothing. In this game, it's pretty significant. It kind of, sort of, a little bit, if you strain, looks like Guts' sword, I think. Sort of like how the Baldur armor kinda, sorta looks like the Guts' armor. Yeah. There's, it doesn't look nearly enough like it to really matter. And the reason these guys are called Painting Guardians is because of this. This is the painting of Ariamis. And we are not going to go into this area just now. We are going to wait until later to do that. But that is a hidden level that we can get into because we have the peculiar doll, which we got from the Undead Asylum. Just gonna boldly step out here like this. And what is this? Is it Strong Magic Shield? It is. Oh, it's Great Magic Weapon. Okay, I was mistaken. Now there's a bunch of guys coming at us. They probably have some kind of, No, there's not. Okay. I thought a big posse was going to come down here. And this is a very religious-looking place with the stained glass up here. Again, this is more of that negative space that's sort of useless, but it's neat that it's here because, you know, you get they use places that are huge and big to give an impression of grandeur and power and greatness that we otherwise would not be able to get. Now, the way into the city over there has now been unlocked now that this thing is pressed downward like this. However, we are not going to have enough time to continue on with the next area just yet, so I am going to show you one more area, which I think it's this side. I always get the wrong side. There we go. Okay, we did get the right side, thankfully. And if we run down over here, then there is another little area with another bonfire down here, which is nice, which we are going to see just now. And we can take a look up there and see, for the first time since the first episode, that is a statue of Lord Gwyn. And just like with the statue of Guinevere, it is weirdly sort of... It has gold something or other on it. I can't quite tell what that is, that gold stuff on it there. It looks sort of like... Like, why would they make the legging there thing out of gold or brass or bronze or something? It looks very peculiar. Need amazing ring. Well, we're going to talk about that in a second. This is the ring of the sun's firstborn. Let's take a look at that. Ring. Where are you, ring? Boosts miracles. This makes miracles stronger. Lord Gwyn's firstborn, who inherited the sunlight, once wore this ancient ring. Boosts the strength of miracles. Lord Gwyn's firstborn was a god of war, but his foolishness led to a loss of the annals, and rescinding of his deific status. Today, even his name is not known. Now, there is a hell of a lot of speculation in the Dark Souls community about who the Firstborn is, who this person they're talking about. The, where's the ring again? The firstborn child of Lord Gwyn was a god like himself and was the god of war. Well, who was this guy? There's a lot of fan speculation that this guy was Solaire of Astora, that he was the son of Lord Gwyn. Because he loves the sun, he says the sun is sort of like a magnificent father. So that's sort of taken to believe that Solaire was a deity at some point, and yet lost his status because he lost the annals of history? How did his foolishness lead to that? There seems to be like a big long story that you could write about it there, but it just isn't present. We don't know enough about it to comment, in a way. And it says, today even his name is not known, which is really sad. Originally, the son of Lord Gwyn was going to be Andre of Astora. And if you take a look at Lord Gwyn and think of Andre, they actually look very similar in their face with the rugged tufts of hair around it. However, it's really just acknowledged by the fan community because, fans are, you can't expect to give people such a spare amount of information and then get upset when they get angry with you when you, invent your own lore. You can't get upset at that, right? Take a look at these tombs here, presumably all of a person. There are gravestones of some kind here. And maybe these are the knights, because we see the statues of the knights here. Maybe these are particularly great knights of Lord Gwyn. Written in an indecipherable script, though. We can't see it. And this is Lord Gwyn's tomb. Well, aren't we supposed to be meeting Lord Gwyn? Well, no. Lord Gwyn is actually dead. Or more accurately, he is undead, as we will discover later. And let us take a look here. This looks just like any ordinary wall. However, if we put on a certain ring that we got, the Darkmoon Seance ring, interesting that it would automatically be put next to the ring of the sun's firstborn. These are not alphabetically ordered. It's sort of put on in an automatic way. And it's interesting that they would do that because this is linked to where we find the ring of the sun's firstborn. Now it says here, this ring is granted to adherents of Gwyndolin, Darkmoon deity, and lastborn of Gwyn, Lord of Sunlight. Grants additional magic attunement slots. The Dark Sun Gwyndolin is the only remaining deity in Anor Londo. His followers are few, but their tasks are of vital importance. Now you know that this can't be the owner of this ring, because this is from the firstborn, and this is from the lastborn of Gwyn. However, if we put on the Darkmoon Seance ring, this statue disappears, and we get to this bizarre fog gate down here.
Halt! This is the tomb of the great Lord Gwyn. Tarnished it shall not be by the feet of men. If thou art a true disciple of the Dark Sun, cast aside thine ire. Hear the voice of mine self. Gwyndolin, and kneel before me. O disciple of the dark sun, thou hast journeyed far. Hear my voice. If thou shalt swear by the covenant to become a shadow of Father Gwyn and Sister Guinevere, a blade that shall hunt the foes of our lords, then I shalt protect thee, safeguarding thy person with the power of the Darkmoon. Very well. Now thou art a blade of the Darkmoon, hunteth the enemies of the lords by the power of the dark sun.
Awakening episode, they're sort of like the police. You know, there are the evil people that invade and kill other players and steal their humanity, but there are also the police covenant, the people that invade and kill, but they only invade and kill people that have invaded or killed others. So they're sort of like they hunt down the bad people in order to judge them. And if you complete this, you will gradually be rewarded with, I believe, Sunlight Blade, a miracle that adds a lightning damage to your weapon. Let's see if this says anything. These mystical orbs are granted to blades of the Darkmoon, knights who serve the dark sun Gwendolyn, so that they may serve the gods in meting out vengeance. And what does the ring say? Gwendolyn, all too aware of his repulsive, frail appearance, created the illusion of a sister Guinevere, who helps him guard over Anor Londo. An unmasking of these deities would be tantamount to blasphemy. What the hell does that mean? An illusion of Guinevere? Remember it said that Gwendolyn is the last deity here remaining in Anor Londo. But wait a minute, what about this Guinevere I mentioned earlier? Well, we're going to have to wait until another episode to continue on with that discussion, because right now we have just about hit the 30-minute mark, and I am going to continue on with this episode. I'm going to continue on with this level another time in another episode. Have a good day.